Did you realize that King Henry VIII ascended to the throne at the tender age of 17? Born on a summer's day, June 28, 1491, he was the second son of King Henry VII and Elizabeth of York. As a child, he was not initially destined for the throne. However, fate had other plans when his older brother Arthur passed away, propelling young Henry into the spotlight. Educated by the finest tutors of the time, he excelled in languages, theology, and the arts, displaying an intellect and charisma that would become the hallmark of his reign. In 1509, following the death of his father, the spirited and athletic teenager found himself wearing the weighty crown of England. This marked the beginning of a reign that would forever alter the course of English history. Did you know that King Henry VIII had 6 wives, each with a unique story? Let's take a glimpse into the monarch's tumultuous marital life, which was as dramatic as his reign. First on the list was Catherine of Aragon, a Spanish princess. Their marriage lasted for 24 years and resulted in a single surviving child, the future Mary I. However, when Catherine failed to provide a male heir, Henry sought to annul the marriage, setting the stage for the English Reformation. Henry's second wife was Anne Boleyn, a charismatic courtier. Their marriage led to the birth of Elizabeth I, yet it was marred by accusations of adultery and treason. Anne's tragic end came at the executioner's block, marking a chilling end to their 7-year union. Jane Seymour, a lady-in-waiting to both Catherine and Anne, became Henry's third wife. She brought him the joy of a long-awaited male heir, Edward VI, but sadly she died days after childbirth, leaving Henry heartbroken. Then came Anne of Cleves, a German princess, married to Henry for diplomatic reasons. However, the marriage was short-lived and annulled within 6 months, reportedly due to Henry's lack of attraction towards her. Catherine Howard, Henry's 5th wife, was a young and vivacious noblewoman. However, her marriage to Henry ended similarly to Anne Boleyn's. Accused of adultery, Catherine was executed, marking another tragic chapter in Henry's marital history. Last but not least was Catherine Parr, a noble widow who outlived the ailing king. She is remembered for her role as a kind stepmother to Henry's children and for her efforts in promoting their interests. In navigating through his 6 marriages, Henry left a path of annulments, executions, a death in childbirth, and widowhood. His marital life was a whirlwind of passion, power, and tragedy, mirroring the turbulence of his reign. Henry's tumultuous marital life was a reflection of the turbulence of his reign. Now, let's delve deeper into the significant changes he brought about in religious practices in the next segment. Ever wondered why King Henry VIII established the Church of England? Well, it's a tale of love, power, and religious upheaval. Remember Anne Boleyn, Henry's second wife? Her influence was pivotal in this monumental shift. Henry was smitten with Anne but faced a significant hurdle. He was already married to Catherine of Aragon, and the Catholic Church didn't allow divorce. Henry sought an annulment, claiming that his marriage to Catherine was invalid because she had been his late brother's wife. But the Pope was not forthcoming. Frustrated and desperate, Henry made a drastic decision. He broke away from the Roman Catholic Church, establishing the Church of England in 1534. This move allowed him to grant himself the annulment he so desired, and he swiftly married Anne. But Henry didn't stop there. As the new supreme head of the Church of England, he wielded unprecedented religious power. He used this power to initiate the dissolution of the monasteries, a series of administrative and legal procedures between 1536 and 1541 that disbanded monastic communities in England, Wales, and Ireland. Henry claimed the monasteries were corrupt and poorly managed. However, the real motive was economic. The monasteries were wealthy, and by dissolving them, Henry could seize their lands and treasures. This move not only filled the royal coffers, but also fundamentally altered the religious landscape in England. It marked the end of the monastic system that had been a cornerstone of English religious life since the 6th century. Henry's religious reformation was a seismic shift in English religious history. It changed the face of religion in England, setting the stage for further religious conflict and change in the years to come. The Church of England continues to be the established church in England, with the monarch as its supreme governor. Thus, Henry's decision to break with Rome over 500 years ago still resonates today. Did you know that King Henry VIII was a skilled musician and composer? Yes, this monarch was not only known for his political maneuvers, but also his artistic flair. He wasn't just a patron of the arts, he was an artist himself. With a particular penchant for music, Henry composed several pieces during his reign. One of his most notable compositions is a song titled "Pastime with Good Company," a tune that still echoes in the corridors of history. But let's not forget, this king was also a man of action. He was an avid sportsman with a love for jousting, a popular sport in the Tudor era. However, this pastime didn't come without its perils. In the year 1536, a jousting accident almost ended Henry's life. A lance with a deadly intent penetrated his visor, leaving him unconscious for 2 hours. This incident was a turning point for the king, impacting his health significantly in the years that followed. Beyond his interests and hobbies, Henry VIII held firm beliefs about his role in the world. He subscribed to the philosophy of the great chain of being, a hierarchical structure of all matter and life. This belief system placed God at the top, followed by angels, humans, animals, plants, and minerals. As the king, Henry saw himself directly below the angels, appointed by divine right to rule. This belief played heavily into his actions as a monarch, influencing his decisions and shaping his policies. Henry VIII was more than just a king. He was a musician, a sportsman, and a philosopher in his own right. His interests and beliefs were as diverse as the man himself, reflecting the complexity of his character. Despite his political pursuits, Henry had a keen interest in music and a firm belief in the divine order of existence. What does the name King Henry VIII conjure in your mind? Perhaps a bloated king? Indeed, as we delve into his later years, we see a monarch whose health significantly declined. His love for feasting and his inability to exercise due to a jousting injury led to considerable weight gain. This change in appearance has since become an enduring image of King Henry VIII. But his later years weren't just about his physical transformation. They were also marked by decisive military campaigns. One such campaign was the Battle of the Spurs in 1513, where Henry secured a victory against the French. This triumph enhanced his standing as a formidable monarch, further solidifying his place in history. A significant event during this period was the proclamation of the Henrician Articles in 1531. These articles asserted Henry's authority over the Church in England, setting the stage for the English Reformation. This move was not just about facilitating his marital whims, but about asserting sovereign control over religious matters in England. Among the many who resisted this shift was Sir Thomas More, once a close friend and chancellor to Henry. More's refusal to accept Henry's supremacy over the Church led to his execution, a stark reminder of the lengths Henry would go to consolidate his power. As we consider his legacy, we must look at his children. Despite multiple marriages, only 3 legitimate children survived infancy: Mary I, Elizabeth I, and Edward VI. Each would go on to rule England, their reigns shaped by the religious and political upheavals of their father's era. King Henry VIII's reign was a turbulent yet significant chapter in English history. His influence extended beyond his lifetime, shaping the course of England's religious, political, and cultural landscape. His story serves as a vivid illustration of the complexities of power, the consequences of personal ambition, and the indelible mark one man can leave on the annals of history.